Oh, I gotcha. And then I've got 5 days of work, and then we have the game on Monday. So got a few things planned, getting ramped up and ready to go as well for Steelers football. But like, I've got to get myself ready too for Christmas Day game. I'm not too sure what that means. Oh yeah, better than him be a Steeler than a clown. Dead set. Khan is good to go. All right, hang on, we'll bring him in. Good to go.
It's so funny because it like automatically unplugged my mic, like because the StreamYard, like because I've come in through your one, so I was like, oh, it's good, and then I can't hear when I was in, so I was switching the things when you invited me in, so that's right.
Yeah, right. J Devil says here, Khan is talking to my age. I'm the next receiver too. What are your thoughts about J Devil being receiver too?
Bring it on! Can't wait to see him in against the Chargers. Here we go.
Do you think that's one of the most overrated things? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. That's one of the most overrated things this season is receiver 2 talk. Like, it's been nuts, eh?
Yeah, I think like from my perspective, it's like, we'll put it this way. This is where the whole thing falls apart for me, right? If Ayuk comes in, is George Pickens number 1 or is George Pickens number 2? Right? Because we are sitting here saying it's wide receiver number 2. But if you're sitting there looking at like NFL production, NFL pedigree, NFL experience, then isn't George Pickens number 2? Like, this is what I kind of think. Like all this like Steelers beat media and like national media around Pittsburgh, everyone's like, oh, it's about the wide receiver 2. I'm like, but then if you get Ayuk, you've got your wide receiver number 2. Like, do I think like Pickens could be a number 1 over time? Yes. But if you bring him in this season on paper, the number 2 is George Pickens. So even the concept of we have to have a wide receiver number 2, it's kind of a bit stuffed up. Like, it's kind of backwards.
Can you feed both? Can you feed both and keep them both happy? Pickens and Ayuk.
Well, this is the thing of why I think it's, I feel like the Steelers media, like all the people that cover the Steelers regularly, aren't listening to what's going on and aren't watching what's going on. Like, I don't know, the whole 5 senses of training camp, because they've had so many double tight end sets. I talked about in my live the other day about like them using the fullback more and there being a role for Coletto and Haywood and Washington and Freeman. And out of camp over the weekend, there was a little discussion about there being 2 tight end heavy sets. If that's the way they're going, which makes sense when you've got 2 running backs that can catch the football, why do you need this wide receiver 2? It's a waste of draft capital. Because let's take it. Next year, they need to either spend a first-round pick on another cornerback, like likely if they don't resign Dante Jackson, or they need to get a defensive lineman, like another solid one to go with Benton to get cheaper. They can't afford to spend that, like to trade a 1. Now, most people say, well, Ayuk's not worth a 1 or he would have got it through the draft. Fine. But can we afford a 2 or a 3? Probably not, because what if we want to move up in the draft next year to get like some guy that's lights out? So like, unless you're trading a 4th like next year and then a 2nd or a 3rd the following year. But this thing comes down to Ayuk wants between $25 and $30 million a year. We need to pay a quarterback, right? Or we need to be able to use the leverage we've got to like get a quarterback in the draft next year. So I just sit there. I'm like, this doesn't line up. Like, I think this is all like, this is the Steelers. A couple of Steelers beat writers said this. They've got a rest day on Sunday and Monday, particularly Monday. It's going to be quiet from news. We're going to have stuff. And then the next thing we hear, Ayuk's coming to Pittsburgh. I'm like, nah. Like, call me like small conspiracy.
But they're talking about, like, obviously there's a need for the receiver in depth. And I think Gene makes a really good point. I've been with this guy with Gene the whole way. Can't they just be wide receivers? Why do we got to label everything? And also the Azani receiver coach talked about that as well back about 3 weeks ago. I've been sick of the receiver two talk for so long that I just wanted to see it end and just see how the Steelers play and just show me what formations and what players are playing where in certain spots.
If the Steelers bring anyone in, to me, I said this with Shannon a lot last few months or so, but like the Steelers bring anyone in, they're going to be bringing someone else in that gets cut in their training camp. Do you know what I mean? Like between the like.
Yeah. People were saying Texans or even in the Discord today on Steel Oz saying Commander, stuff like that. I want to give you a quick shout out, Matty, for TDU as well, because Jedevil says here live on both ends. Fuck. And also, everyone head to Steelers Touch and Under. That's Matty's show. Leave a like there too, or follow on both. I'll have two YouTube channels or whatever it may be. Have 3 of us. I don't know. You know, you got some good real content here rather than the other ones. Some of the other rubbish out there. And in terms of
Ayuk news here.
Yeah, well, we have to. We got to talk about it. Like if we didn't talk about
it sucks. Every time they talk about it, we have to talk about it, and
you got to have
grinds
some
my gears.
comment, and then it's going to hype us up and see what happens, and then fall down again. Because,
Mate,
like
I did a test, right? Like, you know how you on the back end, you and I do the we tag all our videos for the YouTube land, right? I've shoved Ayuk and Brandon Ayuk as a tag in the back end, but basically since like March. And every video that I run out of tag space, because you have a certain amount of characters for tags, like dropping the fourth wall view, and I take it out, the views are slightly less on the videos that don't have Brandon Ayuk, which tells you everything you need to know.
People
right?
want it. People want the story. They always say about I'm not too keen on the clickbait and that kind of stuff. But then why do you click it? I could have put Ayuk today, but I've seen that all the time, like clickbait. But then you've obviously clicked it and then wrote a comment to say that, right? But no, I think both on our ends, we've been trying since day one, since BTSC days, now SCN, and you work with Shannon now too. I think we're trying to be honest and tell them the real view.
Totally.
I'm just really sick of like the Ayuk stuff. I'm okay if he signs. Sign, fine. But I'm sick of hearing the story. This is one of the most longest stories that's been going on for like 3 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is crazy. So, but overall, and we're going to jump into some defense stuff. I want to grab your take on that. Are you like overall opinion? Do you think it's going to happen? Because I'm like, I don't know. I'm like 51%. Yes. Yeah, I don't know.
I still don't see. I think what you guys were saying about in the Discord, I've had to basically refresh my whole phone saying to get back into the Discord for Steel Oz. But I think I still stick by some of the things I've said all season where, if he went to the Broncos and then you got, Courtland Sutton, or I think the most likely place for him is in Washington with that way their offense is set up. So then if they do that, then that makes Terry McLaurin available. I could see him at the Seahawks as well, with the way that they want to play offense. And so, then Metcalf becomes available. I kind of feel like Ayuk, I said this 3 or 4 weeks ago, I still feel like Ayuk is the path to another wide receiver coming to the Steelers, but I don't think Ayuk is the next wide receiver to come.
It's kind of like the smoke and mirrors kind of act.
Yeah, because
one domino falls and then something else happens, right?
Because Deebo Samuel still, I could see them moving on, but they love him easier than Ayuk. Ayuk would really fit an offense that they want to run with Kittle and McCaffrey in the short and intermediate passing game, and then you've got Ricky Pearsall and Ayuk screaming down the field. It kind of makes sense. So I think Ayuk would be a massive loss on Brock Purdy, and they I don't know, a lot of people. I said this probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. Might have been the last time you and I did a live, but there's going back about 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks. There's an interview that Pat McAfee did with John Lynch, the general manager of the 49ers, and you hear him talk about their team, and they are so hell bent on winning a Super Bowl. And I don't think without Ayuk, I don't think they can win that Super Bowl. So I think this is just, I think both sides are pushing each other. And I think he's tried to I think he's been quite aggressive in some of the things he's done over the course of this negotiation through the offseason, and he's pushing them. But as you said, 51%, I kind of put it this way. I'd flip it the question like this, the way I want to answer it is is it the Steelers or 31 other teams, including the 49ers? I'm picking the 31 other teams every single time. Yeah.
Just someone. I'm at the point, I'm just like someone. I think because we keep getting linked to Brandon Ayuk. If that happens, sweet. We're going to embrace him. He's going to be a Steeler. It's going to be a fun time with the building the offense, all that kind of stuff, right? It's going to be really awesome, and it's going to set up our defense. But I'm just at the point now, it's just someone. And these sources keep doing it every 3 or 4 times. And this is the 3rd time they've done it with Filipponi and those other blokes and get links and all these agents, that kind of stuff. And maybe they're just hoping for it to go through. And when it doesn't go through, we forget about it. And then 2 more weeks' time, they do it again. So I don't know. I just want to get it over and done with. I've never said that. I've never said receiver 2 as much in my life, and I've never said Brandon Ayuk much in my life.
And also if it happens, how much lack of hype are we gonna have now, right?
I know.
It's gonna be really anticlimactic.
Cool. Got him.
And also, if you're Brandon Ayuk, think about this. If you're Brandon Ayuk, why would you we all love the Steelers, but just take yourself out of loving the Steelers. Steelers don't have a set quarterback right now. They've got a new offensive coordinator who historically only throws it to one wide receiver. If you're Ayuk, why would you and this is all being set up for the next few years in Pittsburgh. why would you want to come to Pittsburgh? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man. Hey, we got to talk some defense.
I
really should have changed the show, but I think we can. That's about 15 minutes is enough. I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I even said to Shannon a few weeks back. I was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, we're talking about not talking about it, and then talking about it, and then still talking about it. I can't help it. All right, I'm gonna do one last thing on it, and it was from Gene said, "What if B-Mac knew the whole time?" And then Jeddah said, B never lied. B-Mac never lied. And that's when I brought him on the show and he discussed his point. He was like that. He said, I'm just telling you what I know, but then he's not going to lie for clickbait. He doesn't need to. He's an analyst and former Pittsburgh Steeler and a great defender. G'day, Steeler Wade Show. Welcome back, man. I haven't seen you in a long time. G'day, West out there too. Because Fields is quarterback number one and wake up and then go to sleep. We'll come back to the quarterback stuff in a minute, but for everyone who came here for both your channel and my channel, and I wanted to talk about the defense because I realized what I was doing, Matty. I'm a defensive guy, but I've been slipping into the offense slowly, talking more about them because I'm really excited to see what happens with this team. Like, I got to come back a bit. Like, I need you to put me back on the train of like, what's going to happen with, Peyton Wilson? Is he going to be fed into this defense more and more with the rookie contract?
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about Peyton first? Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. They were saying that he's going to be like the dime backer to kick off with. That was according to Steelers now. But then they were saying Trice was going to be the dime backer like 3 days before that. So I'm kind of like, well, which is it? I kind of think like they've still apparently Atlanta Robertson's still being used heaps in coverage in camp. I think you've kind of got three rotational guys here between Queen, Holcomb, and Peyton Wilson. I would let, as much as I'm not for letting rookies warm up a little bit, like I think just like start them if they're good enough, let them play. Like, Broderick should have started last year. Fatanu has to start this year. Frazier has to start this year. Joe Porter Jr., maybe 49ers was a bit of an ask, but like week 2 onwards, he should have started. But I do think when it comes to, Peyton Wilson, linebackers are real, like if a linebacker blows an assignment in the receiving game, it can like, especially if it's like on a third down, that can cost you points, like quite easily, quite quickly, or momentum plays. And so I'm going to talk about momentum plays more this season because I've been thinking about this idea for a little while. But like, so I think from Peyton Wilson's perspective, I would say that don't expect less rather than more in the first sort of 4 to 6 weeks. And then I think especially going through the bye, especially going down the stretch with all those divisional rivals like down the home stretch, you'll see him more. However, the Steelers are playing, I think it's the first 3 to 4 weeks straight, like quite heavy run teams. Like even the Chargers are going to be a heavy run team. So when you think about that, the linebackers are going to have to be used in all those different ways. All teams have decent tight ends as well. So, you might see more than Peyton Wilson than you might have in other seasons, particularly if you compare it to like last year. But I think we just got to, like, my thing is always like, hope for the best, expect the worst. But with Peyton Wilson, you're probably like getting really, really good out of him really early on. I mean, the guy's quick as, the guy is apparently really instinctual. But again, let's see what he's like in preseason. He might be having a great camp, and then in preseason, he missed a couple of reads or something like that. But I mean, he's got Landon Roberts, who's just the absolute, professional. You've got Queen, who's an absolute talent there. Holcomb's a really solid linebacker. Like, he's around good blokes.
I just read your tagline, minimize the speculation. I didn't see that until then. It's been dead set 20 minutes. I didn't read that yet. Minimize the speculation.
Did you hear this? Did you hear what Tomlin say this on the weekend?
No.
This is my favorite. I talk about this in my live, so sorry people listen to the live that repeat. So Tomlin said what has now become my second favorite quote, or maybe third favorite quote. But he said, minimize the speculation, because I asked him about tackling in training camp, right? And he was like, the reason why I do this is because we've got to cut from 90 to 53, and I want to minimize the speculation when it comes to players. And that's my theme from now on, is minimize the speculation. Stop with the Ayuk stuff. Like, stop with the each day of training camp. This guy's the superstar. Is he? He did well in a day of training camp. Like, that hasn't done, like, that guy might have done nothing in the NFL. Like, so I'm kind of like, that's my new motto, is like, minimize the speculation. Be real. Don't be clickbait. Don't, like, let's talk about real things that are proven.
You know what's funny too? because there are some YouTubers out there who are like got more access than us, and they speculate everything, but yeah, they got more in the know because they're standing in the building, and I think that's really
it
funny.
shits me.
Yeah, me too. It's like if we had the opportunity, you report what you see, not what you see and make up and make a story out of it. But did have you been hearing what Tomlin's been saying too? He's really fighting with Brooke Fire. Something he must have Brooke Pryor must have stolen his lunch or something. You know, she would have stolen his lunch because
I reckon worse. I reckon she took his car spot.
Yeah,
because Steelers though they don't assign the car spots. The veterans have talked about this. It's first in best dress for the car spots. I reckon she's parked in his car parking spot.
He is chopping her down every single time. One word answers.
I can't listen to
no.
her, man. Like
did you
crap.
She asked a question about Wilson coming back from injury, and he's like, "Did you just hear what I just said?" I just said that like just then. You know,
we got to bring up Gene's comment.
So you're saying my egg tattoo holding 7 Lombardis was a bad idea? It's not the worst idea. Maybe it's thinking it might happen. There's someone out there definitely did that. No, I like that minimizes speculation because that goes on all fronts. I think with the Steelers, I think with what we do here, what reporters do. And just we are in training camp, and that's why I wanted to bring back to the defense because you made a good point, right? Fields looks good, looks great, right? But the defense can't really tackle, can they? Can they really? That 70-yard play is not a 70-yard play. It's a 7-yard.
This is why the offense have done better in pads because the defense has effectively been held back. Queen missed 2 days with an ankle. It's also it's practice, man. Like some teams, the Steelers take it more seriously than other people, but some people it's a freaking joyride out there. And then they'll go into the season and they'll win like 8 to 10 games. Like I don't know. I just kind of like maybe I'm being too cynical about stuff.
No, I think it's good to cover the team and I think be excited and I'm sure there's big moves and big catches. But I think sometimes on the defense they really can't hit a receiver running over the middle. Or when you see a 40-yard pass, they're just letting him catch it.
But let's think about it's like what I said before, like when we're going back to offense, but it's like what I said before about the tight ends and the fullbacks and the running backs. You are more likely to be in heavier tight end sets because you've got two running backs, that are quality. That if you put on the same field at the same time, the other team is not going to have enough linebackers or strong safeties to tackle the blokes. So do you need another wide receiver? No, you only need one wide receiver that's capable of hitting combat catches or downfield catches. You don't need the wide receiver number 2. But as everyone said, do we need a wide receiver number 2? No, because we've got Calvin Austin that can do the speedy stuff or can do the sweeps. You've got Roman Wilson that can be a reception guy and a blocking guy. Scotty Miller's a fast guy. Van Jefferson's a great route runner. Like, I know, I will swing back to the defense, but I guess my point is I'm minimizing the speculation. It's like, I heard people when we got Dante Jackson, he'll be the cornerback number 3. And when we got Sutton's going to be number 2. Absolutely not. Dante Jackson is I think he was a second-round pick eventually, but he was in a great LSU defense that everyone forgets. He was actually with Patrick Queen there. Runs an incredible 40 time, plays incredibly fast, was used completely incorrectly by Carolina the last 2 years. I've been wanting this guy for 2 seasons. This guy's going to be great. He's probably going to end up with five interceptions. And everyone's going to sit there like, oh, he's the great. Like, we got to re-sign him now. We should have re-signed him to 2 years when we should restructure this deal. Like, but this speculation, it's like the whole Darius Rush and Trice thing. I'm really hopeful for those guys. They're big.
You haven't heard much, have you? There hasn't been too much talk about nothing against Trice, but you've heard a lot of ideas in the off. All last season, all you heard was, "I wish Trice was playing," and you never heard nothing about him.
It's like still out west does it right. Like, look, we all thought KP8 last year was like killing it.
Yeah, mate. The best thing about
I think that's burnt me the most.
Well, the best thing about last year's hype was going to your wedding, and that's about it. And then handling the 49ers loss 30-7 was an absolute killer.
Yeah,
I felt sick. I felt sick watching that 3 a.m. That was terrible.
It was atrocious.
It was really bad. But you put right point there with Sutton. Of course, he got signed. There's off-field issue, but he's going. But now they're all talking about Beanie Bishop, and he's been stepping up and playing his role in the slot.
But then 2 days ago, they were talking about Graham Arnold and Beanie Bishop might be relegated to the practice squad.
Oh boy. What do you do with it? Where do you go? All right, so I want to get into the real nuts and bolts of it. Do you think, honestly, that this defense, whoever they may choose for all the starters, can they be a top 5? Because I reckon they can.
They can be a top 10. I think they can be a top 5. the way they will stay a top 5, and there's been talk about defensive line in the live chat, which is great. Lowry has to be fit, and Leal has to continue to improve. Otherwise, I'm still a little bit doubtful. Look, there's a lot of people in the Steelers community that love Montravius Adams. I like Montravius Adams. I think they paid more than what they should have to keep him. The problem with Montravius Adams is he's more of an interior guy in a 4-3 defense, but he's not fast enough and agile enough and powerful enough and explosive enough to be a defensive end for the Steelers. So we definitely need Logan, Joby, and Hayward to be healthy, but we also need Lowry to do well. Or as I think Steeler Chick asked a question about Logan Lee. We really need Logan Lee to perform, and I'm super high on Logan Lee. I've heard a little bit about him, not too much. But I still worry. I think you're going to see a bit of Fehoko this year, which is good. But that defensive line, if we have the injury unluckiness that we had last year at linebacker on the defensive line, they are stuffed. Like, they're going to concede run yardage, and it's going to get ugly really quickly. I'm less concerned about the secondary at the moment because they got Ryan Watts. But I would still ultimately love to see another classic strong safety get signed between now, even if they go on the practice squad and a proven strong safety be signed between now and the actual season start, even if it's when they do the cutoff in the bye between the preseason and the regular season. But yeah, I mean, I do think the defense is capable of it. But also the hard thing for them is that they're going to go, you might find them concede a bit of points in the first half of the season, not week in, week out, but a couple of games. And then it'll tighten as they go through the final stretch of the year to become a top 5 defense, because they're going to be playing division rivals. It's going to get cold. It's going to be AFC North football, run the football. That's what they're going to want to do. But for them to be top 5, and I know you don't want to Melvin, but it's going to depend on how long the offense can hold the football. And that's why I really like the idea of Arthur Smith and heavy tight end sets and 2 running back sets and just hold the football. Because you said before, like, you've talked about a lot of offense in the season. It's very hard, unless you throw pick sixes, for the opposition to score if you're holding the football. So the longer you hold the football, the harder it gets for them, right?
I reckon we will have a chance to be top 5, but you are very correct in the offense needs to hold the ball longer than a minute and a half or 2 minutes.
I think they averaged like 2:27 or something last year.
Remember how we just had Canada, and you just go out there and the bad offense, including Pickett and everyone like that, and Trubisky, and it's like run, 2-run, handover. Like, couldn't score points. So I'm hoping to see.
My favorite is 3rd and 8. Let's throw it 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You can beat 4 blokes.
Yeah. My biggest one, I think, was the goal line with Najee. I think it was 10 yards out, and they threw him a screen to the sideline receiver screen. And there was
Najee doesn't have that kind of pace. Najee doesn't have that pace. 5 yards out, he might be able to bustle over.
I don't know who it was versus. It might have been versus the Browns, someone, but that was awful. That was something I just went, holy smokes! I've just never seen anything like that from the whoever threw it, the quarterback, whoever it was, don't care who it was, to the play call, to okay, if you're on this spot, then go here at 4th and 10 for the goal line and stuffed up. So I'm hoping to see. I think the players now on the offense are starting to buy into for Smitty's offense, and that's going to help our defense. Because I know TJ. Let me see it, because I want to ask you this question too, right?
I saw kind of a clean out.
He's still around. He's lurking around. G'day, Bubba. What's going on, Bubba and Shane? They still enjoy the podcast, by the way. The 24-hour freaking draft special we do.
Yeah, I love that. I gotta get them on. I gotta organize it with that
18 hours of coverage over 3 days is incredible. But what are your thoughts about this whole TJ Watt stuff?
Fosters.
Oh, dude, I don't know if it's like, what's that, Yano or whatever it is, yellow or brown you hear. I don't know. I still hear beer.
Yano,
yeah. Do you hear piss or beers? I
hear piss.
Yeah, I don't know. I never hear beers. Not once. I play it every single time. That's just straight for a burst. I was like, what? What?
I've got one that's coming on my channel. I found this clip on Instagram where was a big hit and then ended up in a scuffle at camp, and you can just hear Tomlin chuckling in the background. So I'm trying to I'm ripping the audio at the moment so I can just play the Tomlin chuckle. I love it.
I should
Anyway, you
do
asked me a question. Sorry.
Oh, I should do a vote for it. Piss for sure or Beers. I swear that Shannon White said that. Isn't Foster's Australian for Pierce? I was like, what? The question is, that was a terrible one too, by the way. Remember that one?
I tried to forget it.
That shovel pass to Gentry when he went like 2 yards. It was like, how? Why?
Remember that time after the show we were looking for Gentry's only 2 ever career receptions for like an hour one time, and we found them, and they're like, "Oh, they were all right." Yeah. That was quite funny.
Yeah. And then he had a different role the next year, right?
Yeah.
My question was about TJ Watt in this ranking. Like, what's going on? Like, he's ranked 8th, and there's probably 3 people in front of him.
Garrett again?
Garrett was 6. 5. There was another bloke. The Chiefs guy was 5.
Chandler Jones, yeah,
and
to be fair to Chandler Jones, like he's got good players around him on the defensive line, edge rushers, but he doesn't have like I don't think he's got anyone Highsmith caliber. Like Rousseau's not there yet. Not Rousseau, because he's at the Bills, Californitis or whatever his name is. But yeah, TJ. I mean, I just used to TJ getting snubbed at this point.
Yeah, same. I reckon the NFL has something. Maybe they've just got what they've done too much what and too much Steelers.
But you also like you think about the Hall of Fame, right? We hear guys go through the Hall of Fame, and there's a couple of guys every year that you kind of hear the name, but you actually hear what they did, and you're like, man, that guy was a gun. Like I remember that wide receiver Bruce. Is it Steve Bruce? A couple of years back, and like I knew of him. But then they're going through all the like his stats and like the highlights. I'm like, this guy was a freaking gun, man. Like this guy.
Where did he play?
Didn't he play at the Bills for a bit? I think in the 90s. I think he was the 90s wide receiver with Kelly. Was it Steve Bruce?
I thought there was like an Isaac Bruce. Isn't it Isaac Bruce?
Isaac Bruce, whatever. Like,
is that right or wrong?
Yeah, it might be.
I don't even know.
I remember Bruce.
Yeah. Isaac Bruce was a former football wide receiver. Played
was he Bills.
Part of it, finished his career. Bruce Smith, well, hang on a minute. Finished with 15,000 receiving yards.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, you don't think about that.
Yeah, or something. I don't know who he is. I just remember the name. Former Rams receiver, Isaac Bruce.
There you go. But didn't he finish? Didn't he play? Anyway, the point is, this is exactly the point. We don't know who he is inside out. The bloke got caught 15,000 yards, man.
Yeah.
Like,
he played 223 games, apparently.
Isn't he like 5th on the all-time list for yards? Because doesn't Jerry Rice have like 22,000?
Yeah, he's up there. 15,000 yards. 70. Wait a minute. How many TDs? 91 TDs. He played for the Rams and he played for the 49ers last. He played for like 16 years.
Yeah, so you almost average for 15,000 yards. You almost average 1,000 yards every year. He's like 900 yards every year average.
Yeah,
but this is my point, right? Like these guys don't always get the recognition, and TJ will get the recognition by the end of his career. So I'm not like,
the media is more concerned, I guess, about Mahomes and those kind of guys, or Lamar Jackson, being.
They've also think about it. You can't have Garrett win Defensive Player of the Year and have TJ like ahead of him on the list.
Yeah, they kind of have to double down, right?
They kind of have to double down on it, right?
Yeah. I think TJ Watt is at the point now. He even said in the interview he's kind of sick of the individual accolades. He just wants to go and play and win.
And I think about TJ, if he was in a 4-3, he'd probably have more sacks.
Yeah, right. Kelly says he was on the greatest show on turf with Kurt Warner.
That's it.
Do you know why I reached out to Kurt Warner about the 99-yard interception? Did you see that video I did about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope. So I said, thanks, Kurt. And he wrote back. I wrote the one big whole thing back. He's a great guy. He was really cool.
I got a lot of time for
Kurt. Nice.
I like Kurt.
Yeah, me too. I could. You know what? They could have won that game. That could have been them. That could have been their moment in the sun. Like they could have won. They were to Larry Fitz to finish it in 2 minutes ago. Then we came back and won.
It's a cool. I know they obviously made a movie about it, but it's a cool story. What happened to Kurt?
He's done pretty well at that time for his career.
And you think about Kurt too. If they hadn't have moved Bettis on, that was pretty.
Yeah, but even cool. I think it was it Steve Breston or one of the blokes that got hit up on the line? I think they had Larry Fitzgerald. They had Bolden, of course, too.
Was Marshall Faulk the I always confuse him and the other bloke.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the Cardinals. The Cardinals, but yeah.
Oh, you know the
He had
Cardinals
Falk,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
the Cardinals team, they had
yeah, good team.
And who's the wide receiver? He played for the Ravens toward the end of his career. He always use him in Madden. Antoine Bolden. Yeah, Antoine Bolden was a freak.
He's the one that got lit up on the line. He got injured on like a concussion.
Yeah. So him with Larry Fitz. They had a decent tight end too. I'm trying to remember who the tight end was. He wasn't bad. That was a good team, man.
All right, we got to go back to this. We really should change it to the top 5 Steelers defense and Ayuk. Apparently, he's on his way. Ayuk's on his way.
How do we know?
I don't know. Okay, look.
Okay, I'll give you this.
Yeah.
They bring in Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the Rams out there, because Cup's not got long left. Rams go, Steelers, we'll give you a 1 next year because F them picks for Pickens. You take the trade?
The Rams give us a first rounder.
Yeah. I'm just picking a team out of thin air.
But then if we did that, then the Steel Nation should be like, oh, we need receiver 1. You're not really solving a problem, are you?
Just saying.
You know? They'd be absolutely salty, I think. Nah, you wouldn't trade. I don't think you'd trade Pickens. I think he's the bloke. I think he's the dude. I like what your idea is.
Then why do you need to spend? Then this is why I say to people when they think about Ayuk. Ayuk's a 1-year rental then on a deal or a 2-year rental because are you going to pay Pickens in the next year when you're going to have to prepay him because he'll get paid the bonus money next year on like that re-sign deal? You're going to pay Pickens and pay Ayuk, right? And you're going to pay Cam to keep him, right? Who are you going to pay at quarterback?
Najee, there's a lot of blokes in there.
Can you afford? They can't afford $50 million plus at wide receiver, and that's what it's going to cost. It doesn't make any. And people, the Steelers beat writers forget this. Omar Khan is a numbers guy. All of this stuff is about numbers. You can go get McLaurin on a 2-year deal or Metcalf for under $20 million, who I would argue in the right offense can do exactly what Ayuk can do. I don't understand the problem.
So if he were, because like I said, I just wanted to sign somewhere. If he were to sign with the Commanders and then they leave, then obviously the depth chart gets stronger. Then someone falls to us, right? Then
McLaurin, because they can save $13 million a year. It's McLaurin.
Yeah, and then I think he would be a good locker room guy, and he'd be
a great mentor for Pickens. The guy's 6'2" and over 200 pounds, so you can use him like you would Ayuk anyway. Pickens is not going to feel threatened because he's 30 or 31, turning older this season as well. So, like, that's why I've said, I've got a video going back to March that McLaurin is the guy that makes the most sense for the Steelers.
Yeah, but maybe it's going to be the domino effect. That would, okay. I guess we just got to wait and see. And I hope this is the last rumor that kind of like, you know what I mean? Because I've done it 3 times now. I hope it dies down. But let's
The Steelers are trading for Devontae Adams. I heard that video.
Oh, mate.
That's not happening.
That one.
That's not happening.
That was a stretch, that one. I heard there was one for Dak Prescott this year. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you, of all the wide receivers who are going to have a good year, Nico Collins out at the Texans. Everyone's going to be marking up on Diggs. Collins in fantasy is going to he's going to be an absolute ripper this year. He's going to. Who was
the other bloke for the Texans? Yeah, they've got Stephon Diggs, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then they've also got like John Mechie Jr. They've got a few young guys.
Tank Dell, the other bloke.
Tank Dell, yeah.
Got a few guys like that where Texans they could be
and they got Joe Mixon now as well.
Yeah. Oh, former Bengal. That's right. He got out of that. All right, let's get back to some defense, and I'm going to get because I really should
left.
I know I've got five more minutes where you have to scoot around. But what is your favorite thing, I guess, about this defense compared to last year? I know my answer already. But what's your favorite thing that you've seen stand out? Maybe something different too, something a bit different from last year.
Yeah, I think there's an intensity that wasn't there last year, and they mean business. There's a old school nature about this that's like we want to thump them, and everyone that's brought in like Queen and Sean Elliott particularly, we want to thump people, right? And like I just I also think I don't think we can gloss over the fact that we're going to allow Minka to be Minka again. Like,
Yeah.
Bank F.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Because
I think
Queen's
there's
still
an
like
intensity
Queen's.
to it, and I think that this Steelers defense wants to get some respect. That's the biggest thing is I think there's a motivation level that wasn't there last year, and we can all say like it's the Steelers standards, the standard, they're professionals, they're getting paid all this money. That doesn't mean every single year is going to be perfect, and I think people lie to themselves if they think that. Not that I think your or my community do. I think it's like other people. But yeah, I think there's an intensity and motivation there, and let's get down to business kind of thing. And I don't think, you know what else? I think people are a lot more realistic. I don't think anyone thinks they're just going to get a spot. Like, I think even Patrick Queen's sitting there going, I've got to work for this. Like, I've got a young guy in Peyton Wilson breathing down my neck for time. Atlanta Roberts has proven in this defense. If Holcomb gets fit, he had a really good year last year up until the point he got hurt. So, like, I think this is everyone across the board is like, we've got to fight for our spot. But also, the one thing I also like, if you want to compare this year to last year, is I like that Joey Porter's got a year under his experience and knows what he wants to do, and he doesn't have the.
You reckon he's bigger? You're going to go bigger in his shoulders and
I think he's bigger. I think he's faster. I think he's across the defense more. Like, he's going to be. I think he could be a top. I don't want to put the Mickey on him, so I don't want to put too high expectation of him to be top 5 cornerback. He could be a top 10 cornerback this year, easy. Yeah,
I saw a post out there on the Instagram or Twitter or whatnot, and it was like there was a picture of Joey Porter, and someone just wrote, "Is that his dad?" Like, it looked like him straight away. Like 1 year old.
I hope he hasn't slowed down though, because you can get too big. Like, that's the other thing. Like,
yeah, but I reckon he's gonna have a pretty big year. My favorite thing about this year is I want to see him. And I was gonna ask you this question because you're almost like mini Omar Khan with all the numbers, right? Can they pay Atlanta Roberts next year? Will he fit the defense? Because I like him. I think what he brings now is that
physicality. But I think your plan's got to be that he's your backup guy as the
Can they give him a 2-year contract and you know what I mean and get him in
as long as it'll take like 3.5. Yeah, and I would if you give him a 2-year deal with like a third option. Or you make the third void year, because then you can extend guys with void years. There's some technical things you can do around that. And you say to him, look, you might not be starting, but you're going to be there. And we know there's injuries in the position all the time, or guys have to miss a game here or there. I think he'd straight up take that. Like, of course, I think he'd be thrilled to do that, because they are on a path there's a feasible path to a Super Bowl now in the next few years.
100%. And it's almost it's his career's ending, winding down, finish a Steeler.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And look, I mean, 2 or 3 more years as a Steeler, and he played 5 years and he wins the Super Bowl. He probably, I mean, I know he won some championships with the Patriots, but I'm pretty sure he was undrafted, or he was a late round pick. He might even want to
retire. He's a teamer, and that's why he got all.
That's right. So he might even want to retire as a Steeler. How good would that be? And it'd be like a bit like Farrier, like, right? Like,
I really like his energy, man. I like the way that he was, and also how Warren was smashing him, but then he was kind of teasing Warren a bit too. But then both sides got into it, backs on backers. But I think Atlanta Roberts knows how to win championships. He knows how to play this defense. I think him and Queen. I know we're leaving out Cole Holcomb, but that's the health issue as well. He comes back. Hopefully he can come back. We don't know. But I think these 2 blokes there at middle linebacker are like, it reminds me of like the Vince William, like
totally, yeah. He's very big.
That kind of connection.
And like the thing about it too, it's like what I've said to you for years now, which is why I was thrilled about Herbig last year about rotating guys. The ability to rotate 3 to 4 quality starting linebackers in this division is freaking massive down the stretch. If these 3 to 4 guys, I'm including Holcomb in this, are fit for the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season, all 4 guys are fit. Oh man, like the odds, like every Steelers game where they're under odds, like as the odds are again for the other team winning the game, throw the money on, because like they got the 4 linebackers. The 4 linebackers in this division are absolutely key, because they are what are going to allow the pass rush to come forward and the cornerbacks and the safeties to sit there and actually read the plays and not have to preempt everything. And that's why, going back to your overall theme, you know, the Steelers can be a top 5 defense because they've got a linebacking core to do it.
I think it's a top 5 A groomers. No, I've been thinking about it. Like Roberts has a 1 year contract is next year, free agent, right? He wants to play, I think, for us now. He wants to check in for us.
Yeah, they'll do the deal next year. They'll wait till they'll wait. They'll say to his agent, "Hey, we want to sign you. Go have a look what's out there."
Because they're going to sign TJ somehow. He's still on a good deal, 2 year two to go. Cam will figure something out, I think. Highsmith is like 2 years to go. Queen's got a 3-year deal. Like these guys are all playing, and Nick Herbich's on his rookie contract. Yeah. But they just got to sign Marcus Golden back too. They're like, oh yeah, come in Golden. You didn't sign anywhere else.
This is probably last Golden though. This is probably
last round. But like I think like what Tomlin, and that's kind of his sway as well, is bringing these players in to play at certain times and certain places, right? And right now it feels like that chance where, yeah, like you said, playing down the stretch can be really tough. But if you've got 4 healthy linebackers who can hit or are physical and want to play and want to tackle, it's going to be our advantage, I think, in that sense. That's why I think the Steelers are going to go, top 10, but like chance for top 5.
Yeah, totally. You know? And like Quest says in the comments, like Matt Williamson, Holcomb, he could go to IR, but this is where the flex of his contract is going to be a big deal as well. So you know, like I think they want the reason why they did that restructure too is they want to keep Holcomb, for a year, like let him build back, and then you've got him on the cheap.
He had a really bad injury, right? His leg kind of bent backwards, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit stuff. But like I don't mind having an insurance policy there, sitting there for a year. They're gonna cop a fat dead cap hit by cutting him anyway, so you may as well keep him, let him build back. If you get him earlier, great. Although there's rules about he's got to stay on IR on this pup list now, and they would have to bring him onto the squad in the 53 when they file their 53. I'm pretty sure this is correct, to start the season. And then once week 1, once the season's officially started, then they can move him back onto IR for 8 weeks. Because if they leave him on IR through the preseason, they move him off the pup list and put him onto IR once the preseason ends. Then if you end the preseason on IR, you can't play for the year. Like that's obviously what's happened to Trice. We had that, I think, to Snell 1 year, etc. So they're gonna I think you might, if they think he's any chance at playing, which I think he is, because they said all the rehab was going well, what you'll find is he makes the 53 and then he moves across to IR. But it's going to be a little bit smoke and mirrors because there's rules about that as well where you can't manipulate the system. So
yeah,
you might even see him get a helmet for like a preseason game, but he doesn't actually play. Like it's going to be a little bit like, yeah.
Well, they've done that before. They used to do it with Big Ben. Big Ben would get a scratch and then he'd go on, he'd a sore elbow and he'd sit off, you know. They know what to do. They've been in the business a long time. Toddy 86 says
most too early. A year too early. I think Highsmith could get moved. I've said before it wouldn't surprise me to see Highsmith not finish this contract in Pittsburgh, but the cap hit with that and wanting to do that, like you need to see more of Herbig. You need to have another legitimate guy behind Herbig, and you got to get through that dead cap hit. But after this year, maybe. But if I was doing that, right? If I was Omar Khan, and I gotta jump in a sec, but like, I'd be moving Highsmith with a 1 and rocketing up the boards and getting a quarterback that can sit there for a year or two behind someone really, really good. I wouldn't be doing that. Yeah, as George says, it'd be 21 million. I wouldn't be doing that unless I'm getting a face of the franchise player back. That's a massive move to make.
Well, Matty, as we talked a bit more about Ayuk than the Steelers' top 5 defense, but it happens on these shows. Where can we find you? What can we expect from? I know you've been a really, 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 really busy man.
It's nuts, yeah.
So what can we expect from your YouTube stuff on Steelers TDU and what you're going forward next?
That's it. So you and I are looking at what we can do a bit more regularly. Get back into that cadence, even if it's a fortnightly thing. So I'm really excited about that. Shannon and I are still going to do our global perspective stuff. I think we're going to do some content this week. Last week he was out on vacation. But yeah, lots to come over the preseason stuff. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit crazy. I've got a bit more work travel coming up and stuff like that, but doing my best to get the content out there and not clickbait content. Obviously, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh, week 3 Chargers game.
Right?
So if you're not a sub of my channel, go sub, because I'm going to put out some community. There's going to be some posts that I put that only subs can see. About what we want to do for that. But keen to meet up with heaps of people. I actually got an email out there right now with the Pro Football Hall of Fame because before I go to Pittsburgh, I'm going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Have you been there yet?
No, so I'm stoked for that. I've got a good 3/4 of a day there, and I'm trying to get an interview with a couple of their people on there. But really, I just can't wait to be in Pittsburgh for that game. So content over the next. Sorry,
who are you trying to interview?
Oh, I want to interview the guy that runs the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Like, nice. I'm trying to get
the big fella. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, big fella. Yeah.
I don't remember his name though.
I'm having a mental blank on his name. I think he might be John something. Anyway, so yeah, but as I say, like the next 6 to 8 weeks is going to be a bit interesting because I've got a bit of travel, and obviously I'm going to be traveling or whatever. But yeah, I'm just excited. I don't know, like I'm getting pumped. Like as a fan, obviously we run these channels, but like at the same time, you are still a fan. I'm pumped for the season. Whilst I can be cynical and very realist and Mr. Logical, I freaking love it. I can't wait to see who's on this squad with the 53. I said this to end the live show I did on the weekend. Like, I kind of feel like the practice squad this year is going to be like guys that can legitimately play and make a difference. Sometimes the practice squad's filled with a few developmental guys and a couple of veterans. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, it's just really stay tuned for more to come. We're only building. It's going to be exciting. I may even get to go to another game in October, November, because I've got to go back to the States for work again. So yeah, it's just really exciting this season, and I can't wait to see your content on Christmas in Kansas. I'll be against Kansas City, in Pittsburgh. I'm going to be super jealous of that. But yeah, so just as I say, like go to our channel.
I think we have the Chargers. I think we beat them. I think so.
I hope so. I
think if we lose, maybe go.
If we lose, I may not be able to go to another Steelers game because I've only seen one team that I've supported in like 7 or 8 American sports games win.
Herbert's injured. He's injured, so you got him.
All right, I will see. But yeah, say go back to the channel. You can find us at Steelers Touchdown Under on YouTube. That's where we do it all. They have all different types of mix of shows. But yeah, absolutely love doing it. Love doing our joint lives, and hopefully I'm looking forward to how we can do that over the coming season and the next few weeks. It's gonna be pretty cool. But thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
And for my subs, if you're not on Mark's train, which is probably a limited number of you, but go find Steeler Nation Australia. Mark and I have been in podcasts from like that. Like we're almost 4 years.
I found the first one that we sent to bad the other day.
I've read that. I kept trying to listen to it, but it's not working on my phone. I don't know why, but yeah. I'm going to try and do it on my computer.
We sent one to bad Brian Anthony Davis, and we didn't know we were on air. So we just kept talking about stuff. We kind of knew we didn't know. It was like, it was set by accident, I think. And so we got the job in the role. So, yeah, man, I appreciate it. It was good catch up. The first time I spoke to you in about probably a month or so, been a busy man.
It felt really weird too. Like I must say, I kept being like, "Oh, I messaged Mark this," and then like, someone called me or so I got to run to this thing.
It happens, man. It's life, and that's why your channel is legit. That's why mine is legit. It's because it's life. People come in the chat, they can see how honest we are, and we're not trying to blow smoke up your wazoo. It's legit. Like we think AU could be a thing, but it might not be a thing too. And we don't spread the clickbait BS rumor. It's like we talk this, and that's why. And we're from Australia, and we're like 9 hours behind the news, so we won't even know. Hopefully today we might know, but tomorrow if it happens at your 7 a.m., we're asleep.
I reckon. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows, mate?
Yeah, but exactly. Good to be back, guys. But yeah, I had a jumper, so this will end it on my live stream as well. But yeah, if everyone on my live stream, go check out Mark, and you'll probably kick on for another 5, 10, 20, who knows? Could be 3 hours. So.
Not 3 hours, unless something breaks. I don't know. Dude.
But yeah, we'll catch up soon. Yeah, we'll have something out for you guys soon together. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Sounds good, Matty. I'll see you later, dude. Thanks, mate.
All right, have a good one, mate.
See you, mate. All righty. So I want to get back to as Matty gets out of here in a minute. So thank you, Matty. Appreciate you coming on the show. Yeah, thanks, 86. Take these off. Holy dilly. Want to give Matty a big shout out to Matty. Coming on the show. I really haven't spoken to him in about a month or so. He's been really busy doing stuff here, there, and everywhere, and so have I. But it's always a good little catch up for where we have started doing podcasts from 4 years ago. And as my g'day Flo, what's going on? We're gonna take a quick little break. So I can get a water, and I'll take some questions to end the show with 20 odd people in the show. And we'll probably address this Ayuk one more time, see what's coming next. what's happening next on the channel. I've got Steelers versus Texans live on the weekend for my weekend, your Friday. So let's do a quick little break and we'll come back. Alrighty, in 1 second.
It's the Steelers. What isn't there about it? Studs everywhere. Man, I'll play punter if they want me to. Whatever coach tells me, I'll play. Man, I love football. I love to play the game of football. I'm ready to play football. And I'm happy to be here. Just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this team. So I'm happy to be here. I love the game of football. I think it's art. I think it should be played a certain way. And that's why I love to play the game. I just love football.
Alrighty, Steelers Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. G'day, Really Floor, what's going on? Welcome. By the way, it was a really fun podcast we did together. You can check that out on my community post too. It's really fun. It breaks down, what do you call it? It breaks down like the YouTube Steelers fan kind of connection. Like, it's a really fun interview. I really appreciate that, and definitely have you on another time. Thanks, Matty, mate. Dead set. Yeah, dead set. There was one from J-Devil says, time for pizza talk. We all know we can talk pizza anytime you want to. I'm a huge pepperoni guy. I think a lot of you guys in the chat too. But I want to go back to something. I want to kind of end on this thing. Oh, I love that. I think it's great. Just man, my hair is so... I need a haircut. I definitely need a haircut. Look, it's getting too wild, bro. Just two blokes in their room. That's all we are. All we are is two blokes in their room talking Steelers, talking your team, our team, the world's team. And we're getting you pumped up to see, hopefully, do great things. Like, I want to see this offense go wild. That's why I want to talk about defense today, because I can't wait to see TJ Highsmith round the corner. I think Peyton Wilson going to have a big year. I think Queen and Roberts, I think he's got that physicality too, Roberts, and the way he was chipping Warren and Najee, and they were going after it. Mike Tomlin was getting involved, getting fired up, getting pumped up. This defense, I've always loved the defense more than the offense, but now the offense starts to intrigue me. That is Najee Harris and Warren. Do you pay him next year? What happens this year? How many yards? Frymouth is going to be awesome. You coming back, Matty? Sorry, there's someone in the background. I was like, what's going on? Alrighty. Matty's in the background, but he's not. I just really put me off guard. But yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued I think things are moving in the right direction in terms of our defense is sorting things out. Yes, I think Bob was saying from Steelers Dynasty podcast that we have a really weaker D-line, and yeah, we might do, but I do like that. Thank you, Pepper. That's awesome. Just two blokes in their rooms. Thank you, Bubba Mate, as well. And, okay. And yeah, dead set. All right, if you guys have any questions, we're going to start to wrap it up. Hooly dooly. Man, I can't go there. I haven't got a ponytail. Yeah, it was so much fun. G'day, Chloe. It was so much fun. Content creation and being a Steelers fan. Yeah, how things work, what, the highs and lows. So go to my community post, and that's there too. One thing I will be pushing as well, if you guys want to be a member of Steelers Nation Australia and also Hooly Dooly University, I was looking into the Discord today. We have over 34 members for the Discord, and that's the only way you get access to the Discord if you become a member. Now, I'm not going to try and push it down your throat too much, but if you want to be a member, click join, then join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. In about 2 or 3 weeks' time, or 2 weeks' time, I'll be setting up some fantasy football competitions, and I know I still got you. Promise me, I'm just trying to save so many things, and I overpromised and I've under-delivered. I still owe J-Devil a present, and I still owe Pepper a present, but I will get that done. But maybe this year I won't offer presents because it's been really hard to get it. Yeah, I know, really hard to get things organized, and I will be a man of my word, but it's just the fees over there are insane, but I will get it done one way or another. Toddy says, Mark staring, looking like Wolverine. Yeah, it gets like that. It gets pretty crazy and have a crazy beard too. Hooly dooly. Awesome. Yeah, I'll be finishing very shortly, so I won't go too long, and I won't be doing too many crazy things. When will you wake up? Yeah, I know. I can't say that. That's a hard question. When will you wake up? That was from the other day. But I like dogs way too much. Dogs are my favorite animal in the entire world. I haven't heard from, I don't know if you guys have either, Mackenzie. If you're out there, g'day Mackenzie, what's going on? Come on the show. Haven't heard from Mackenzie in a while. Hope she's doing well. And Tucker. She was a really great podcaster as well to have fun with too. There you go. Alrighty. Taco better than pizza? I don't know about that. Okay, a few questions. We'll get out of here. My money's on Archie. Best movie sequel? I tell you what, I don't know about the best, but I've always kind of liked Back to the Future. I kind of like that series. I don't know about sequel. Yeah, she was cool, man. She was cool. I think she's around. Yeah, I probably could do that. Told you you're gonna be here in December. Might as well put the gifts in the suitcase. Yeah. I don't. Well, Daredevil lives in the West Coast and Pepper lives in Texas, so that might be an idea. Maybe I can post it from. Maybe I can post it from America. That could be an idea. Is there there's no Titanic 2? I don't think it's a Titanic 2. Daredevil says Ace Ventura. That's a pretty good movie. Is that the one where he gets the? Actually, I've got the hair for it now. He gets the spears in his legs. He goes, oh, like that. Yeah, 100%. Back to the Future is fire. I can't think of anything else like in terms of sequel. I do like the Lord of the Ring trilogy, but number 1's okay. Number 3's a bit boring in the end. Number 2, maybe the Towers is pretty good movie, pretty awesome. Yes. Yeah, I got to figure something out. Don't worry. I won't forget about you at all. I've been trying to figure out, to be honest, I'm going away for a Bucks party in October. So I'm going away for a Bucks party in October. And also, if Matty's audience still here too, shout out to Steelers Touch Down Under. I'm going away for a Bucks party in October. So that's going to be quite crazy. And then 7 weeks later, I'm going to Pittsburgh for Christmas. So I've got to figure that out. All right. Yeah, it's not a bad movie either. Terminator 2. And yeah, The Empire Strikes Back. All right, Steel Nation, we've gone on for an hour. We're getting into movie talk, so I'm gonna cut it there. Thank you as well to you guys from the chat. Thank you to Matty for coming on. We're gonna work out something every second week or every week because we're gonna ramp up Steelers content. The Ayuk stuff, my final thought is I don't care where he signs, just sign somewhere. If it's with us, fantastic. Figure out the money, sign. But I hope he signs somewhere in a few days because then we can leave the story alone. So let's get out of here, guys. I appreciate everyone coming in and saying what's up. Yeah, I got to figure that out. I do want to get them both something, and I've got to. Is that how you guys say? How do you guys say it? Ayuk? I don't know how do you guys say it? Ayuk? I don't know how you say it. All right. So thank you, Toddy. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you, Jet Devil. Thank you, Sean. We might even go live tomorrow if it happens. I don't even know. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Jay Quest. Thank you, Bubba and Shane from Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Thank you, Really Flawed. Great podcast with you today. You put out today. It was awesome fun, and we'll do it in the future again. Thank you, Pepper, as well, and thank you, 46. We're getting ramped up for Steelers preseason games, and I'm having beers. I'll tell you that much. I'm having beers. I'm having some beers at 9 a.m. And thank you, West, as well. If I miss anyone, I do apologize. Let's do 2 more. Thank you, Sean. And thank you, Matty Peverill. So Steelers TDU. All right, guys, that's it. There's two blokes in our room. Wait a minute. Top tier show. Ayuk? Ayuk? I don't know. I have no idea. Friday night game time. Yeah, we got to figure something out too. If you want to do that as well, we'll figure out something. And if we can't, we can't. But we'll do something. I'm definitely having beers. All right, I'll see you guys later, and let's find out what happens in the next few days in terms of Brandon Ayuk. Is he going to be a Steeler in like 2 or 3 days? All righty, Steel Nation. I'll see you later. This one. I'll see you guys later. Hey, Rod. Left the light on. See you later. Bye. Just one sec. I found a comment I want to get. Obviously, I don't leave straight away. Like I don't walk out the door. That's not me walking out the door. J Quest says here, having peers. We wouldn't say it like that. Like we would probably say was like, if we had drinks together right? Say we had drinks together, like, oh, me and Jay Quest were sinking piss last night. That's what you'd say. You wouldn't say like I'm having piss. That doesn't. That wouldn't make sense. I know it sounds weird, but you'd say, oh, I sank a few tinnies last night. We were sinking the cans. We would, I don't know. Yeah, we're sinking piss. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I don't know. We're sinking piss last night. I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you later. And man, that's crazy. Thank you, Pepper, for 19 months. We've been doing this thing for 19 months. So I appreciate every single HDU member who puts their coin this way. That is crazy. And yeah, taking the piss too. Are you taking the piss? It sounds like yeah, sinking piss. That's right. Sinking piss. You wouldn't say haven't. You wouldn't say haven't. Sinking. What? I keep saying piss. How many times did I say piss? Sinking piss. I'm having. All right. I'll see you later. Let's play it again. I'll see you guys later. Hey, Rod. Put the light. Left the light on. See you later. Bye.